A pleasant day to everyone. I am Jabriel Dailo and we will be talking about the literary analysis of Mayday Eve by Nick Joaquin. As you can see in my background, and later on my presentation, it is somehow dark and scary because I wanted to relate my overall presentation to the theme of Mayday Eve. But before I am able to spell out the whole literary analysis of Mayday Eve, let's talk about first the author of the Mayday Eve because it will give us the background why he wrote this kind of story. In 1917, Nick Joaquin, or some people know him as Quijano de Manila, as his pen name, was born. He was born in the year that Spaniards conquered the Philippines, which explains why he wrote so much against the mistreatment of Filipinos. Furthermore, he witnessed how politicians corrupted the Philippines, especially during the dark years of martial law. With that kind of experience, he evolved into a writer who strives to be the voice of the Filipinos, to have the Filipinos an inclusive rights, and to be a compassionate Filipino optimist writer. Because of his wonderful writings, he was named to be a national artist for literature. And one of his outstanding story is the Mayday Eve. The Mayday Eve uses a third persona because of the usage of she and he on the story. And at the same time, the author utilizes a variety of figurative language to make it more captivating, which is the personification, hyperbole, and irony. On the personification, it can be seen how the writer uses hush hush, whistling on the story. How the hyperbole being over exaggerated on the story, and how the whole story itself is ironic since it was able to portray a really convoluted love story with unexpected twists and turns. And for the story setting, it was placed on the first night of May in the year 1847, which I believe it is actually plays a crucial role on the theme of the story. It is because that year was a time when Filipinos was being untreated unfairly by Europeans because they believe that people from the Philippines who lack power or money should only serve as their slaves. And Agida, on the other hand, describes how women were abused during that period. And as a result of that, I believe the setting is not just the backdrop of the story, but it also reveals the broader theme and possible conflicts on the story. And for the characters, there are only five main characters on the story, which is basically led by Agida and Badoy, and as well as Anastasia, Agida and Badoy's daughter, and Voltaire, their grandson. Agida is a tough and bold woman who is married to Badoy, but never admits to admiring him, as indicated by her description in the mirror as the devil. And at the same time, Badoy is also similar to his wife because he never expressed his admiration to Agida. And just like Agida, when he looked into the mirror, he referred Agida as the devil. And we can also observe that Badoy is the stereotypical male during that time who believes to be the superior and especially to women. While Anastasia is the maid on the story who believes in mystical entities. She's also the one who taught Agida the incantation that will allow her to see the face of the man she is about to marry. And Agida and Badoy's daughter is the inquisitive young lady that was determined to learn more about her mother's past. And lastly is Voltaire, who is a young man who also did the incantation for seeing your future sweetheart in the mirror. Now, for the plot, I believe it is like a flashback within a flashback. It is because it all began with young Agida to Doña Agida recounting her story of the devil in the mirror to her daughter, and young Badoy to Don Badoy retelling his story to his grandson Voltaire. The mirror is the most essential aspect of the story since it is the one who witnessed Agida and Badoy's marriage journey. We can see how they become unhappy and regretful that they are unable to display their love because of their marital problems. And this kind of problems is actually be happening in real life, particularly to married couples who has problems and unable to find solution that sometimes results to unhappy marriages, breakup, separation, or divorce. With that kind of plot, I believe the two significant or the two conflicts happened on the story as man versus man, which can be seen how Badoy has conflicts within Ageda, and man versus self because of how Badoy has conflicts within himself and Ageda has conflicts within herself. For man versus man, we can see how Badoy and Ageda have disagreements to one another, which leads to hatred within their marriage, as shown as how they refer each other as the devil. And on the internal conflicts, since they are unable to express their love, which is really sad because on the story, Agida died, which becomes too late for the two characters to express their love. And with that kind of conflicts, I believe the most essential or the most significant theme of the story is love should not be based on faith or superstitions. It should be determined how we much respect and accept our partner. Because we can see how the both characters become reliant on their faith, which is on the mirror, which you know what happened to the story. It becomes a love turned into hatred. And because of that, the symbolism of the story is the mirror and the candle. Because the mirror on the story represents the youth and beauty of the characters. But after the marriage, what they reflect on the mirror is the bitterness, is the cruel and war between the both of them. While the candle is actually the symbol that would will or shall provide the light and spark after marriage. But on the story, it enables them to see the worst. And with that kind of idea, I believe that love or even the life itself has full of regrets that we should appreciate and express our love to our loved ones before it is too late. And we should not be dependent on fate whenever we are making decisions because we are the ones who should determine what will be our future. And with that kind of idea, Mayday Eve is still relevant today, especially for those unsuccessful relationship within marriage because people get depending on their luck or some people or some married couple are just forced to be in love, which why some of them ended up divorced or resentful. As a result, Mayday Eve should serve as a reminder to not hurry crucial life decisions such as the marriage because this will impact or this would determine what will be your future. With that, Mayday Eve setting, um, characters, plot, conflict, and symbolism gives the imaginary or imagery to our audience that it is like a forced love. As a result, loving should be based on how we regard and care for the individual rather than on fate. And we can also observe how it is relevant that some married couples are blinded by love and forget to be more sensible while making decisions. That is my literary analysis of Mayday Eve. Again, I am Jabriel Calibes Dailo.